Hello, in this video we're going to be looking at the Transformers limited edition Royal Mail Prestige stamp book. Now this is the version. There are two versions. There's this version and a standard stamp book version. I believe the standard one is about £22. This one you can't get anymore. It's sold out. However, don't fret too much, because the actual stamps and the content inside the book is the same as the one that's still currently available. The only thing that's different is the presentation and cover of the stamp book, but I'll go over the differences a bit later on. So it comes in a little plastic cover, and you're greeted with this matrix, which is very nicely done. Autobot logo in the middle. You've got the kind of matrix handle around the outside. Nice printed detail on there. Flipping it over to the back, you can see you've got this kind of pouch here, which is where the stamp book is inside, as well as the certificate of authenticity. Got the Transformers logo, Royal Mail and Hasbro logos there. So I'll just go ahead and take those out. This isn't anything special, it's not any special material, it's just like cardboard. It would have been nice if they could have made like a tin or something to put this, to keep this one in, because this wasn't cheap, it was rather expensive. So there's the book, and I think we've got the COA behind it as well. So before we get into the book, let's first of all take a look at the certificate. So this is what it looks like. You've got the Autobot and Decepticon logo as well as the Transformers logo. Flipping that over. It is a numbered edition, but the number is printed on the back of the book. It's not on the certificate. So if you want to have a read of that, you are more than welcome to pause the video. We're going to go over the book in detail and all the information. You'll be able to pause the video and read it if you want to. So if you want to look in more detail at that information, you're more than welcome to pause the video. That's the certificate. And then the next article is, of course, the book itself. Now, this is the part that differs. The spine here is black on the standard stamp book, and the cover is different. Rather than it having Megatron and a little bit of Optimus Prime, something I don't like actually is the fact that most of Optimus Prime is obscured by the binding for this, but the standard version, I believe, just has the Decepticon and Autobot logos on it. Still says the same down here, I believe. It is literally just the cover that's different. All the content on the inside, the stamps, the information is exactly the same, I believe, as the standard Prestige stamp book. The only difference is the cover on this, the COA, and the matrix packaging. So upon opening the first page of the book, you have information about the Transformers, where they come from, etc. So there's that. You've got the faction symbols at the top. There is some information there. Apologies for the lighting, but you're more than welcome to pause the video and have a read of that if you wish to. And then we've got some bits here about Optimus Prime. Throughout this book, this stamp book, there are secret Cybertronian ciphers, or a secret alphabet, and I'll talk a bit more about that again at the end. But there's Optimus Prime's page, and again, you're more than welcome to pause the video at any stage and read this information. So there's that. We have Bumblebee here. And there's Grimlock. Get into the first set of stamps now. But first there's a bit about RC and a little kind of did you know kind of bit of information there, that sort of thing. Some artwork and things. Again, trying to avoid the glare. And I do apologise for the lighting if you want to read some of this. So here are the stamps themselves, or some of them anyway. Got Optimus Prime, Megatron, Bumblebee and Starscream. And it's all perforated, so if you really wanted to, not something I shall be doing with this, but if you really wanted to, you can rip them out and use the stamps, or use them individually, or keep them individually. Entirely up to you, but I think the idea with this is that you, of course, keep it in pristine condition. And then obviously this is blank on the back, because this is where the gum is. If you were to use the stamps. So here we've got Megatron. And it's interesting that they have him as a tank there. I know that's kind of the standard now for Megatron, that his official alternate mode is a tank. But for G1, obviously it wasn't. But still very, very cool. We have Starscream. Beautiful artwork again as well. Some information there about Starscream. Quotes, things like that. Again, I'm not going to read any of this out. Got Shockwave. I'm a terrible reader, so I'll just let you pause the video and read it for yourselves. Beautiful artwork though. I really like the character art that are in these, that's in this stamp book for each one. The tricky thing, of course, with Transformers is what characters do you choose to do? And I would imagine that was quite a difficult decision for Royal Mail to decide. We have none other than my absolute favourite himself, Soundwave, the one and only. Again, lovely artwork. Feel free to pause at any point and have a look at what the text says. Then we get onto the next set of stamps, which is Grimlock, Shockwave, RC and Soundwave. Beautiful artwork. The stamps are very nice. You can see if I not shimmer, but you know, tilt the page, you can just make out those Decepticon and Autobot logos over the stamps, and I believe they're a UV kind of reveal coating, so if you were to darken the room and shine a UV light, it would reveal the faction. Very cool. Kind of like the old toys with the rub signs. Got some information now about Marvel UK and what they did. Got Regeneration 1, sorry. Some more information about how they developed the artwork, I'm guessing, for the stamps. If you wanted to read that, just bring that a bit closer. Apologies if you're struggling to read this, but there is rather a lot of information in this book. So then we have this kind of page here of the spread of the main Autobots and Decepticons, if you like, or at least the ones they've chosen. Of course, Optimus Prime and Megatron they had to go with, so those spots were a given. And they chose Bumblebee, RC, Grimlock for the remaining Autobots, and Shockwave, Soundwave and Starscream for the Decepticons. So relieved, of course, that they chose Soundwave. So if you want to have a look at what it says about each character, pause the video. And read up about these iconic Transformer characters. I mean, these ones probably are the most well-known, to be fair, of the main 8 stamps. They have done the Dinobots as well, which we'll see now, as their own set. And you've got a little bit about the Dinobots there. Try and get that a bit closer so you can read it if you want to pause the video. So those are the Dinobot stamps, first, second class. Very, very nice. The difference with these stamps, the Dinobot ones to the other 8, is that these are more like stickers, if you like. They don't have the gum. So these Dinobot stamps are slightly different to that of the original 8. So there's a bit more about Grimlock. And then here we have a mixture of Royal Mail standard stamps with some non-stamps. These, if you use these on their own, they wouldn't actually classify as stamps. They're not worth anything as such, but I think they're just kind of a little extra that they've added in the stamp books. Beautiful artwork. Then we're nearly at the end. So there's a bit about Snarl, Swoop, and then Sludge, and Slug, who of course, as you may or may not know, was not originally called Slug. They changed the name. It's a very similar name, but the original name, of course, is now considered offensive, so they changed it. And then we've got a little bit about the progression of comic books and things like that from the Transformers over the years into from 84 to the late 80s, early 2000s. And that's it. That's the book. The back of the book, underneath my thumb, is where the numbering is. That is my unique number for my edition of the stamp book. And then you have just sort of all the copyright information there. Barcode, Royal Mail, licensed by Hasbro. And then here we have Crack the Cybertronian Code, and the ciphers are hidden throughout the stamp book. If you wanted to go through each page as I went through them and work this out, you can do. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I mean, I actually, ironically, funnily enough, managed to guess what it was just based on the spacing of the words. So if you can do that as well, you know, that's quite impressive. You're a true Transformers fan. But that's it, basically. So that's it, really. That's everything. So, as I say, it's a really nice edition. It was very expensive. I think it was $49.99 just for this little stamp book. I think the stamp book that's still available, that's exactly the same, it's just the cover and binding that differ a little bit. The content is exactly the same, you just don't get the cover, the case, as it were, and the certificate. The standard stamp book, I think, is about £22. But yeah, I mean, a really cool set of stamps, something I didn't expect Royal Mail to produce, to be honest. It came very unexpectedly. So yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know which stamp is your favourite, if you're interested in the stamps, if it's something that you're personally going to pass on, that you're not too bothered. I'd be interested to know your thoughts. But for me, this was a really cool thing. You know, it's something that I doubt will happen again in my lifetime. So it was really cool to see this made. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. As I say, thank you again for watching. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.